Alright guys, I think it's time for a story. In 2016, I had just completed my second world tour, and not only was this one bigger than the last one, but I had finally built my brand to everything I wanted to be. I mean, at the time, I was one of the most sought after choreographers and teachers. But despite of how great my career looked from the outside, my personal life was in fucking shambles. I really thought I was some kind of rock star, but the fact of the matter is I was just an immature, dishonest, promiscuous boy. And not only did my antics lead to probably the worst breakup I'll ever experience in my life, it just caused so much unnecessary stress and chaos. And look, I fully accept this shit. I fully take accountability for it. But the most contradicting thing out of all this was the success, the attention, the spotlight. The thing that I thought I wanted most was beginning to suffocate me. I felt like there was eyes on me at all time, and this invisible pressure would make me dance like shit in class and just completely kill my creativity. I just was so stressed that the next thing I do just had to be better than the last, and I was just at a standstill. I began to hate dance, and that was heartbreaking because dance was all that I knew at the time. So I had two choices. A, quit and find something else, or figure out how to bring the passion back again. So I chose the latter, and my 20-something-year-old mind thought of this great idea. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to New York. I'm going to go to the Mecca, the birthplace of hip-hop culture. I'm going to embrace all the street styles, and I'm going to go completely monk mode. No sex, no drugs, no alcohol, just pure focus and determination. And look, I know I'm a bit of an extremist, and the thought of chasing sobriety in the city that never sleeps just sounds fucking insane. I bought a one-way ticket, and I was in the Big Apple within 2 weeks. But once I got into my own space, I put myself through the most intense schedule. 7 a.m. workouts, I'd meditate twice a day, I'd take all these foundational classes at EXPG. I even deleted all of my social medias. But despite all this textbook self-help work, the thing that made the most pivotal change within me were the people, the community. I specifically remember going to this late night session, just nervous as hell, to freestyle in front of all these strangers. I was just so scared of what they were going to think, especially at the time. Freestyle just was like not my thing. I remember showing up to the session and there was just a wave of people still dressed from their 9-to-5 jobs and with this sense of urgency to get out of their clothes as fast as they can just to start moving. Some of them were incredible dancers and others technically weren't the best, but their passion just made them so fucking infectious. And I was jealous. I was just so envious of them because I knew they did not give a fuck about who I was or what I thought or what I've done. They had no fear of judgment because there was no judgment within themselves. And this really made me reflect and really think about my own mindset. And then it hit me. This whole time, I wasn't falling out of love with dance. I was falling out of love with myself. This brand, this persona, this image I created, I really started believing I was that person. And in believing I was that caused me to be selfish and just caused me to do a bunch of harm to really good people. And that's not who I truly am. I know I'm meant to be of service. I know I'm meant to help, to guide, to heal. So my actions were just completely contradicting who I was. So what did I do? Well, I decided I was going to go to every session I possibly could, and I would just make myself jump in, because the more I jump in, the less I'd care about how dumb I'd look. The less I care about how dumb I look, the more I started to connect to this sense of freedom. And the more I connected to this sense of freedom, I just unlocked this whole new character. My hair grew long. I stopped giving a fuck about dance trends or fashion trends, and I was just so interested in creating new movement to different types of music. I found this level of creativity within myself that felt like an endless reservoir. So what is the point of all this? Well, the point is you don't have to move across the country and spend all your money to find your passion again. But if you're creative and you're feeling blocked, or you're just losing that sense of fire in the thing that you used to love, then I highly suggest you go down this checklist. Step 1, analyze your sense of judgment. If you're in a space where you're heavily criticizing other people's work, then you will indefinitely heavily criticize yourself. Because the truth of the matter is, the spirit of all art forms holds no judgment at all. Number 2, always make time just to create for you, not when you need to. Go into some sessions with the intention that no one is going to see what you're about to do. This is going to help you leave all the expectations that usually cripple you at the door. Number 3, foundations over trends. All the basics from all forms of art comes from a richness of a culture, and that energy will always hold more weight than what's trendy. Number 4, rest, and inspiration. Yo, it is okay to take a break, but just make sure you're still exploring other creative outlets, or at least be surrounded by people who you can pull inspiration from. And last but certainly not least, number 5. You gotta remember this truth. Just how certain people aren't your cup of tea, your art isn't meant to be for everyone else. And that is the beauty of it. That's the magic of it. It wasn't until my late 20s when I realized if someone didn't like what I was creating, they'd probably not like me as a person. And if they don't like me as a person, why the fuck would I care about their opinion? Because this is what I discovered. The further you feel from your creativity, the farther you are from your true self. Stay blessed.